FBI crime data says there is a steady decline in violent crime in New Jersey over the last year. Mr. Gannon, what would your administration's response be if President Trump sent National Guardsmen to patrol the streets of New Jersey? You have 60 seconds.
Sir, if I may, my background is in this, right? I was a local cop. I was in the county prosecutor's office. I was in the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force. I'm the sheriff. I've been involved in about 40 years. The president's not going to come into New Jersey, not going to come in there. We have relationships with our partners. I came from the Joint Terrorism Task Force. We have relationships, whether it's FBI, DEA, all those relationships are established. So he's not going to just arbitrarily come in there because we have it under control, as you saw from the FBI, the raw data there, on the violent crime side. Now, obviously, we work a lot on the other things that affect people, the residential burglaries, the car thefts, and things like that. But we don't see that happening at all because of our relationships that we have. That's what it's all about. We don't want to meet people at the crime scene tape, as we say in the business. This is serious business. This is not Democrats, Republicans. This is serious business affecting people. And we work on that tirelessly. And the cops from New Jersey and beyond are second to none in doing that.
Thank you, Mr. Gannon. Mr. Caldwell, same question. What would your administration's response be if President Trump sent National Guardsmen to patrol the streets of New Jersey? 60 seconds.
Well, as you know, Mikey has tremendous experience as a prosecutor. I hope the sheriff is right, but if you look at what the Trump administration has done in other places to send those troops in to assault the people of New Jersey, one of the realities, we'll never have the experience he has, but I actually did lead training for the Jersey City Police on moving from command and control to protect because of the trauma that command and control leaves in a community. So if the Trump administration comes in and attacks and really assaults a community, which is what's going on around other places in the country, the trauma that left behind will be devastating for the community. So we will fight that vigorously. We will protect the people. We will make sure that New Jersey residents, all New Jersey residents, are here, are safe, and we will continue to have a crime going down. It may not feel that way. So the community programs that we talked about actually can be very, very helpful in making communities safe, helping more people find jobs, and really helping the community come together in a much more significant, effective way.
Thank you, Mr. Caldwell. Dan has the next topic.
Henry, thank you. Gentlemen, let's talk about immigration right now. New Jersey's version of a sanctuary-type policy is called the, quote, Immigrant Trust Directive. It was issued by the State Attorney General's office back in 2018. I want to read a part of it for you. Quote, the rules limit the types of assistance that New Jersey state and local law enforcement officers may provide to federal immigration authorities, including ICE, end quote. Mr. Caldwell, your party has been open to sanctuary laws. Would change this doctrine? 60 seconds.
Well, Mikey has sponsored legislation to make sure that due process and the masks are removed of the ICE agents. I just talked about the trauma that police cause in the community when it's command and control. And that command and control is causing more problems than it's helping. So we will prosecute violent criminals to the full extent of the law, but we need to make sure that everyone's safe. I'm a pastor of a church. Do you know how many people who are legal residents are fearful to go to the grocery store? We go to events, they don't come at events. New Jersey is stronger than that. New Jersey is more empathetic than that. That's why I talk about empathy. So we've got to be empathetic about the people in the community, all people, but especially those that are legally here, who are frightened to death because of the things that the Trump administration has done in other parts of the country and here in New Jersey.
So just to be clear, yes or no here, would you keep the Immigrant Trust Directive?
We would make sure that people are safe. We're going to make sure that the laws are followed, the Constitution is followed, the laws of New Jersey. Mikey's going to hire an attorney general that's very strong that may have something even stronger than that.
To be clear, that's not a yes or no on whether or not you would keep the Immigrant Trust Directive. Yeah. Okay, thank you. I want to keep on with you right now for a second to follow up here. Are there any circumstances where an undocumented person, perhaps accused of a violent crime, should be turned over to immigration officials? You have 30 seconds here.
Well, an undocumented person who's convicted of violent crime, yes, we've talked about it. Mikey's prosecuted folks who are committed violence. When this whole thing began, that's what the Trump administration said. We're going to take out violent criminals. And right now they're taking people who are law-abiding taxpayers. And so we need to prosecute and get people who've committed violent crimes off the street. But we also have to look at the individual situations of people who are here. And we've got to create policies that help people transition from immigrants to citizens. And so it's critically important that the empathy of the people in New Jersey. We want to protect people, but we want to be fair.
Mr. Caldwell, thank you. Mr. Gannon, coming to you now. You and Mr. Chitterelli have said you would get rid of the Immigrant Trust Directive on day one. So the question here is, what policy would you put in its place? You have 60 seconds.
Just to explain where we are. We're right. Day one, the Immigrant Trust Directive has to go, okay? The police are warriors and guardians in society, right? That's what the police are. We help a lot of people. As you've heard, social programs that we have, Hope One, all those things, the social programs that we have are wonderful for people. But we have warrior work, too. I'll take you back to September 11th, and it's a personal topic for most all of us here, your viewership. 15 out of the 19 hijackers were from the Garden State. So after that tragedy, 3,000 dead, these are faces, not cases to us. After that happens, the 9/11 Commission report comes out. It was led by Governor Kane, most trusted man in politics. If you ask me, he's the old Walter Cronkite, right? And he leads the effort. And they publish a 500-and-something page book that I've read and most of us have read. And the number one issue was the fact that people didn't communicate. Cases are solved by little pieces of evidence, maybe DNA, maybe testimonial evidence, little pieces of evidence, they're solved. And this puts people at risk.
Okay, Mr. Gannon, just to be clear, the question is, what policy would you put in its place? I'll give you an additional 15 seconds here on that question.
The policy would be to continue. The policy would be to be able to communicate. All our partners out there, local cops, county cops, state cops, federal cops, right. ICE authorities, we should be communicating with them. We're not interested in being ICE, but we should share information with them.
Okay, Mr. Gannon, to follow up, should undocumented people who have been here for a number of years, are working, and have committed no criminal offenses, should they be allowed to stay? You have 30 seconds.
If they're no crime and they've been here and they've had no problems and things like that, I'd have no problem giving them some type of pathway so they could stay. No problem with that. We'd have to design it, right? We have to design it with the federal authorities and things like that. But I'd have no problem with that. There are people like that are concerned, obviously. But I'm talking about those violent predators that are out there, gangsters, crimes against women, crimes against children, those types of things. Those are people that we have to be in focus on, and we have to lock them up.
Okay, Mr. Gannon, thank you very much. Moving on to our next topic here. Governor Murphy has issued guidance through his Department of Education for schools as they relate to transgender students. It says to use a student's chosen gender, name, and identity, adding, quote, parental consent is not required. The guidance further says communities should develop their own policies and refer families to resources if there's a disagreement between parents and their children. So, Mr. Gannon, would your administration keep this guidance? 60 seconds.
Sir, I didn't know that was up there. Sorry. On the transgender piece, the one thing about the transgender piece that I think is problematic is when we keep secrets from our parents. We should never keep secrets from our parents. It goes down a slippery slope. So I don't believe in that. I also don't believe in, the sports issue with regards to maybe men or boys playing in women's sports, girls' sports, because of safety and because of other issues. I don't believe that's good for us.
Mr. Gannon, thank you. Mr. Caldwell, same question to you. Would your administration keep this guidance? 60 seconds.
Well, my dad was one of the black ministers who was very supportive of the rights of all individuals and those on LGBTQ+. And so the relationship between parents and their children is sacrosanct. The school districts, as a two-decade school board member, the school district local policies are critically important. It's important to have education in Amistad education and other types of education programs. And so one of the realities and one of the challenges in the past is that administrations have made every school district the same. We need to begin to look at the unique needs and the unique safety issues around every child. Mikey has said, and I have said, that safety is number one. We will do whatever it takes to make sure that the safety of the children in the school district, the safety of the children in the community is our priority.
So you would keep the guidance?
We would review the guidance, but, at this stage, it makes some sense.
Mr. Caldwell, thank you. And Henry has the next topic.
As we sit here this evening, gentlemen, we are on the verge of a potential federal government shutdown. In fact, just recently, as we were talking, the Senate voted and failed to reach a funding deal. So we are certainly on that path come tomorrow. A lot of the disagreement around funding centers around health care funding. So let's talk about that. The big Republican bill recently passed shifts some of the funding burden from the federal government to states and counties. According to the New Jersey Department of Human Services, quote, an estimated 350,000 eligible residents will lose health care coverage, and the state is at, quote, risk of eliminating the entire SNAP program, which gives food benefits to 800,000 people in New Jersey, mostly children and seniors. Mr. Caldwell, would your administration find the money to help people who could lose these benefits, and where would that money come from? You have 60 seconds.
Well, first of all, the Trump administration has a direct assault on the poorest people in New Jersey. $3.6 billion of Medicaid dollars are going away. As you said, 350,000 people are going off the health care rolls. 450,000 people, when the ACA expires, are actually going to have premiums doubled. And so this is an assault, and that's where I'm saying that this is making New Jersey less affordable. We're going to have to find the money to really support that. But we're going to fight the Trump administration. Mikey's going to appoint an attorney general that will challenge the legality of the things that they're doing. But understand that we as a people, as a minister, there's a term in Africa called Ubuntu. I am because you are. That's who we are in New Jersey. And so we need to say that it's not just about folks on Medicaid. The way they go is the way the state of New Jersey goes. One of the things that people say is you judge society by how it treats its most vulnerable. Well, right now, we're not a good society. And so we need to, and Mikey and I are going to stand up to make sure that all people, no matter what their income level is, no matter where they live, has an opportunity to get the health care they need, the education they need, to make sure they have the jobs they need. That's why you want to elect a Cheryl Caldwell administration. They're supporting the Trump administration, which is gutting New Jersey.
Before we come to Mr. Gannon on the same topic, you said you'd push back against the Trump administration, but I didn't hear an answer to where you'd get the money to help people in the meantime. Do you have a plan for that? 30 seconds to follow.
We're looking at where we can get the money from. If it was an easy answer, it would have been found by now. So to tell you the truth, this is not a great time to go into New Jersey because of the assault by the Trump administration. And people often say, well, what does that have to do with us? It has everything to do with us because billions of dollars are being taken out of taxpayers' pockets. So we're going to have to figure out how to do that. I think there are opportunities with growing the business, bringing larger businesses here, looking at growing the small business community, which can generate additional revenue and rateables if they had the access to capital that they need to grow.
Thank you,
those
Mr.
are the
Caldwell.
opportunities.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Gannon, coming to you. Would your administration find the money to help people who could potentially lose these benefits? And if so, where would you find that money? 60 seconds.
I think it's a great question. $58 billion budget. $58 billion. It's gone up 70% in 8 years. Anybody here go up 70% in 8 years on their income? I mean, I think we could find the money. If we could find $58 million that was awarded to Jersey City for a French art museum, right? I think we could feed people that need food. I also, along with a number of people, my family, my friends, we go work the lines with community kitchens, Table of Hope in Morristown. So I deal with people in the community that need food, need shelter, need clothing. St. James on Martin Luther King in Newark. I'm involved with them also. So, but the money's there. We just have to go through the budget and find where that money is.
Thank you, Mr. Gannon. To follow up on this topic, Mr. Caldwell, would taxing millionaires be on the table to keep these food and health benefits? 30 seconds.
Well, taxing millionaires is already on the table. You know, it's already being done. You know, my question to this administration is, why do billionaires need tax breaks? And money's taken away from folks on Medicaid. That's the question that voters of New Jersey have to ask. Why do billionaires need tax breaks? And so we need to begin to look at that. One of the things we hear a lot about the budget, if the budget is so bloated, the people of New Jersey should be very comfortable, but they're struggling. So the question is, if the budget is too big, where is that money going to make New Jersey more affordable?
Thank you, Mr. Caldwell. Mr. Gannon, I'll give you 30 seconds to respond. Yeah,
on that $58 billion budget, okay, $700+ million this year and last year was pork products there from traditional Democrat cities. So I think we can dip in there. We're talking about people's lives, people eating or not eating. If we don't prioritize that, what are we prioritizing? That's not Republican Democrat. That's about people that are maybe starving, people that don't have clothing.
And Mr. Gannon, to get you on the record and be fair, because I asked Mr. Caldwell, is a millionaire's tax on the table in your administration if you win?
Taxes are on the table, but I'd be careful of millionaire taxes. They're employing us. They're also
new taxes are on the table in New Jersey in your administration?
Well, you have to look at it. You have to look at the whole thing. But what I'm saying is millionaires, we can't just beat up the millionaires. The millionaires many times are our employers. They're employing us.